AI prompting is over. Meet the new AI agents on the block. If you are new to this channel, my name is Theo Harvey, and I'm the CEO of SensorMed, the AI-powered remote care as a service platform for healthcare organizations. I consult with hundreds of medical professionals every year to guide them on best practices and implementing AI solutions and workflows in their current operations. I have worked with large organizations like Cisco Systems, AT&T, Charles Barkley Organization, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Google. And my mission is to help healthcare professionals prepare for the new normal in healthcare before it's too late. That's correct. We are in a new age of healthcare when it comes to AI, and that's all about AI agents. I talked about it previously in other videos on this channel, but really, agents are the way this is going. Why is this important? Because if you're not prepared for it, your organization will be lost and not understanding where the next levels are going to be for growth for your organization. So why are agents taking over? I talked about it previously, but it's really about the need for AI to actually do something. No longer do people want to prompt, ask questions like a smart intern, but they actually want the intern to do something. And that's where the agent process is coming to play. So in this video, I'm going to break it down in several different areas. First, I'm going to talk about what agents are out there now that you can utilize in your current organizations. Then I'm going to talk about how to think about using them in your organizations and think about the framework. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about why you need to do it now. If you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you some things that no one's ever telling you about right now. If you're not prepared for it, you're going to be lost. So one of the things I want to talk about is what's going on that's causing so many people to use AI agents, right? And I think a lot of issues are really coming to the forefront. First, the 26-hour day. What is that? Research suggests that for a primary care physician to follow all the recommended clinical guidelines for a standard patient panel, it would require over 26 hours per day. That's right, to deliver it at scale. Second, we're seeing the physician shortage get uncontrolled. The United States is projected to face a shortage of nearly 90,000 physicians over the next decade. This is huge. And last but not least, access gap. Between 100 and 115 million adults in the US currently lack access to primary care providers. This is huge. And you know what? If you combine that with the staffing turnover, over 50% of healthcare workers indicate they may change jobs in their future. We are at peak need for AI agents to come in and take over everything. So this is why we're seeing more and more agents come to the forefront. So I'm going to kind of give you a breakdown of some of the real world AI agents that healthcare organizations are currently using it. And I want to look at three different categories, right? First, we're going to talk about administrative and revenue cycle management, RCM. This category is really about being able to move revenue cycle management from reactive billing to predictive ecosystems that resolve issues before they lead to denials. You see Epic Systems, the big granddaddy of them all when it comes to EMR, use their Penny agent, which handles administrative tasks, while the Agent Factory allows health systems to build custom agents that autonomously check payer requirements and cross-check EHR details, fix claim errors. Cleveland Clinic, in partnership with AXA, they utilize agents like the Coding Optimizer and CDI Optimizer. These agents use generative AI to review inpatient encounters, identify miscoding opportunities, and uncover compliance risks in real time. This is huge. Also, we're seeing things like Image Software. Their Image One platform uses agents to dynamically route workflows based on claim complexity and payer behavior, which has led to higher clean claim rates and faster reimbursement cycles. This is huge. So revenue cycle management administrative tasks is the low-level hanging fruit that can move practices to be more efficient, right? I mean, this is something that AI is trained to do, and putting in an agent to do these repetitive tasks that need accuracy but are kind of dull, guess what? The agents are really good at that. So this is a class of service that's just been around and has taken the world by storm. So we see a lot of AI agents really there focusing on that problem. The second pillar we see is clinical documentation experience. So these agents function as infinite interns, right? They handle the pajama time paperwork that typically burns out clinicians. Pajama time is just a fancy word of saying how your providers have to use their time away from the clinic when they're right about to go to bed to chart. So for instance, Maine Health, they have implemented the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience, or called DAX. This agent records entire office visits and produces clinical exam reports autonomously, allowing physicians to focus entirely on the patient. Survey providers reported a 14% reduction in cognitive burden and higher job satisfaction. And of course, Bridge is the big platform that started centered this whole thing around ambient listening tools, and it uses agents to transform patient-clinician conversations into structured clinical notes in real time, integrating directly with major EMRs. And then last but not least, Suki. This is recently a new organization that does voice-activated agents to handle documentation, coding, clinical queries directly within care management workflows. So this is another area, right, to kind of handle the burden of documenting, because now that we're in this digital healthcare world, it's so important that you have to document everything. And this is why agents are becoming more and more important, especially as voice becomes more prolific. We're going to see more of these agents coming to the front when it comes to charting and helping physicians pull this data inside and make it easier for them. So those are some areas that more and more organizations are starting down the path of. Before I get into that, if you allow me to take a moment to provide you with a brief public service announcement. We notice about 84% of you watch our videos but are not subscribers yet. If you can do me a big favor and take the time to subscribe, as that will help the algorithm reach more people like you. As healthcare is rapidly evolving and changing, we all need content like this to adjust to the new normal. Now back to the video. And then last but not least, the third pillar is patient engagement and care adherence. This is the golden grail. This is where we need to get to. These agents move beyond simple text reminders, but these agents manage the patient journey by predicting behavior and automating treatment plans and getting the patient more engaged in their own plan. For instance, Murphy, it uses agents to analyze patient history and risk profiles to personalize outreach frequency. This includes predictive analytics to identify patients likely to miss appointments, no-shows, and intervenes to improve adherence. And then Cincinnati's Christ Hospital, they utilize an Epic integrated agent that extracts incidental findings from radiology reports. This agentic follow-up helped achieve 69% early-stage lung cancer detection rate, far exceeding the 46% national average. Last but not least, SensorMed, my company, full disclosure, we released a new agent called Simon that takes the opposite approach. Rather than replacing a primary care relationship, it extends it. Simon is the engagement infrastructure that helps existing practices reach the patients they already have on their panels, ensuring care plans these physicians design actually get followed at home. We're seeing great improvement, up to 91% of patient engagement using this type of gamification AI agent. And finally, we're going to talk about diagnostics and decision support. These agents are now supporting clinicians in doing and helping them with their judgment by synthesizing research and predicting future events. For instance, Lincoln Health has used a tool that helps surgeons use the GI Genius agent during colonoscopies. This agent provides 99.7% sensitivity in identifying precancerous polyps that might be missed by the human eye. So this is really helping clinicians make better decisions because it's utilizing data to help them guide them in that path. Northeastern universities has started to collaborate with Maine Health, and they're developing AI models that use routine data like cardiac monitoring to predict and prevent unexpected cardiac events before they even occur. So this is where we're all going. And I think we want to kind of talk about the next level of how you want to think about implementing this in your own organization. So how do you implement this now so you don't get left behind? Well, I think you have to think about this as a clear strategy of what do you have now, what understanding you have. One of the things that every organization I'm talking to has now is an AI governance plan. What is that? Is basically understanding what are their pillars, what are their values, because guess what? AI context matters. And when you're developing these solutions, you need to give it context so it can do what's best for you and your organization. And the only way you develop that is having a clear sense of what you value. And those values are stuff that's being displayed every day by your people in your organization, how they treat each other. That just needs to be documented. And then also you need to document all your standard operating procedures, how you train new employees, because guess what? The AI agent is a new employee, very smart one, very capable, and talks very fast and acts like it knows everything about you and your organization, but it still doesn't have the context unless you train it up to do so. And it will get smarter over time. So you want to document your values, document your SOPs. And finally, you want to have a feedback loop. You want to understand, how's it learning, and is it improving or is it getting worse? Because guess what? AI has a tendency to drift or hallucinate away from its intended purposes, especially as you fill it with more data in one particular context window. So you want to make sure that you understand specifically what it is you're after and make sure it doesn't drift to the original plan. If you follow those 3 guidelines, I guarantee that you're going to find a way and a process that will be super successful for you and your organization. So again, like I said, if you're interested in learning more about these tools and how they can work, we'll put some more more information in the comment section below. We'll also talk a little bit about Simon. If you're interested, go ahead and click that link below as well. In conclusion, we talked about several different things. First, we talked about what's the importance of all these different AI agents and why is it necessary now. We talked about the doctor shortage and the need for information and access to patients so agents can provide that at scale. We talked about all the different agents that are out there in the wild and how you can think about them. And this is just a small subset. There are tons of different agents out there that you can try out, but I want to give you a sense of what's out there to spark your imagination. And last but not least, I gave you a fast action framework that you can utilize to implement AI in your organization today. Think about documenting your values, your standard operating procedures, and then making sure your AI doesn't drift. And you do that with an AI governance council. So if you like this information, go ahead, click learn more about all the different ways you can use AI and tell us in the comments below, how are you thinking about agents in your organization today?